Let's talk about fish, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that may be. Let's talk about fish. Let's talk about fish. Fish. Let's talk about fish, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that may be. Let's talk about fish. Let's talk about fish. Fish.
Hi there. Well, we made it. I am back at the shop, as you can see. So I'm just, we've been so busy today, and I had people here late tearing things down. So we're almost out of here. We got one more week, the end of this week, and I think we'll be in pretty good shape. I've got a lot of little tanks. I need to get a couple of people are coming to pick up little tanks, so I'm going to try to dump as many on them as I can. I've got to move some stuff over to the house, so I have things I have to do there. So it's going to be a busy week, but I think we're in good shape. I think we'll get there. I've got a crew coming in at the very end to throw everything in the trailer to go to the dump. So, welcome to a Sunday evening. Joey will be along. She's got tied up at the last minute, but I just spoke with her, and she will be coming up. So I need to post the link for her so she can hit us, so she can find us. Let's see who's here and coming. Hit the dirt. Hello, hello. David Fellows, Kevin Marquis, Hannah Robinson, Fish and Shrimp by Rich, Red Eye Aquatics, Joshua Miller, Fresh and Salt Fishing, Florida. Let's see. Oh, wow. The kid that came in and bought the fish tank and stand. What a great kid. Oh, man. This is the kind of boy I wish I'd have had working here. He just knows he's 10 years old, 12 maybe, 12 I guess. Sharp kid, direct, picks up a job. He knew exactly what to do. He drained the tank, emptied it. I told him I had a 55 there dry. All I got to do was take that note. He wanted the one that had water in it. I said, well, you got to empty it. So he emptied it. It's Fresh and Saltwater Fishing, Florida. And that's a great channel. You need to check out that channel. This is a little kid who is tying flies, doing fly fishing here in Florida. Very, very sharp. Fresh and Salt Fishing, Florida. Check out his channel. Give him a little boost. He's getting a lot of support already. I don't know where he's at. I can't check it here because I haven't got the right channel. Let's continue. Gene Campbell, Howard Van Tassel, Tam Shepard, Wooly Beck, Roman Chirac, Tori Erpenbeck, Shane T. Happy birthday, Emily. Yes, indeed. Emily Stevens' birthday today. Joshua Miller. There she is, the birthday girl. Her husband is on toddler patrol. Mr. B's, CPDs. Hello, hello. Petroman. Nice to have you with us, Petroman. We spoke earlier today. Petroman gave me a call and we talked about discus. I love discus. Broadcast illusions. Roman Chirac, fish, and shrimp. That's everybody, I think. T-Bone. Hey, T-Bone. Welcome, welcome. Well, there we are. Let's see who's at the bottom. Roger Salmon, Fantastic Fish and Friends, Amy 5 Aquatics, James Green, Falconry Fun. Who else? I think we got everybody. All right. So Joey said she could be along. Jason Sire. Hi, Jason. Monster Fish Gal. Hello, hello. What else is going on? Let's see. We're trying to get finished here. There she is. Look at this. Let's see. Right on time. We're trying to get finished here. There she is. Look at this. We are echoing. We're trying to get finished here. There she is.
Oh,
look at this.
hold on.
You want to turn that off? Good girl.
I'm telling you, I was literally in the barn like 15 minutes ago bleeding a furnace. You got to be versatile. Oh, okay.
Nice to see you, Joey.
Oh, good to see you. I feel crazy.
I had a gang of people here until about 10 minutes ago. So I just decided I was going to have to broadcast from the store. So that's where I am.
Oh, yeah, you are at the store.
So I've got the computer hardwired into the router. So maybe that'll help.
Oh, okay.
And I've done a few other tricks. So far it looks pretty good.
It sounds good. It looks good. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
okay. Well, the hardwiring makes the trick. Yeah.
Yeah. This week I'll be setting up a studio at my home, moving tanks, trying to get all that together, finishing up here in the process. So it's going to be a chaotic week. I don't want to run into next month. I may wind up doing it anyway, but I'm really going to try very hard not to. All right. I just said hello to everybody.
Oh, good.
J-Dog. Hi, J-Dog.
Because I haven't said hi to anybody. So hello, everyone.
Jason Sayer. Yeah, I think I got everybody.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
I don't see Chevy Fish yet, but she'll be along.
Mr. B's CPD's new, or was he already in? Okay.
He's already in. Yeah, he's been
All
here.
right.
Now I need to find the YouTube channel. There we are, going live. Cut off the volume and scroll to the bottom. Oh, top chat. We need live chat.
Hi,
all these little things you have to do.
Hi, Jason, Robert
Mulder.
Miss
Hello, Robert. Sunset Jen.
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah. Lori.
So, do you have another crazy busy day in the store?
Yeah, did not do as much business, but I had I had some friends come in who helped me pack up most of the office. So I still have more to do with that, but we got a lot of that done. Got the van loaded so the guys can put that in storage in the morning. And we
Yeah.
got another big, one of the big saltwater trays went out tonight.
That's
Got
cool.
one more to do. They'll be getting to it this week, I expect.
Yeah.
But
So,
it's kind of interesting. There's a couple who have been buying a lot of this stuff.
mhm.
And I said to them, if you buy that pyramid I've got, which is about 800 gallons, that'll give you enough tank space to open a shop. And they looked at each other and said to each other, you know what? That's right. They keep talking about it.
Yeah.
So they're and they knew they were going to do it. So we've got them on the front burner now. They're going out looking for a place to set up a shop. They want to do primarily saltwater. So that's
Mhm.
going to be very different. We'll see how it all goes. But
Yeah.
I'll certainly be supporting them.
Cool. So I'm going to say hello to incoming hit the dirt, herp diversity, Emily. I think somebody said something about maybe happy birthday.
Maybe his birthday. That's right.
Emily,
It's Emily's
happy
birthday.
birthday, Emily. Fantastic fishing friends. And you've got Jacob Kelly, who doesn't have a wrench, so possibly new. And Running River says they are new to the channel, so welcome. Welcome in this evening. And Fish and Floral. Hi, Steph. And I'm
Give
just a lot of people.
Jacob
I'm just
Kelly.
working right about them.
Jacob
And
Kelly
Petra,
is blue.
how's it going?
Running River. Second time you come in, you will earn a wrench.
Yeah,
So
so
hold
there
it
you
to it. Remind us if we don't catch it.
Hi, Willie
We'll be
Beck.
in tomorrow morning.
Cool. All right. Yeah, so
Richie. Hi, Richie.
Willie's birthday. Hi, Irene.
Ooh,
I was literally just running around, so
missed it. Hello, missed it.
just made it here. Late.
Uh,
So late.
Mr. Booth has a question. He wants to know
Okay.
why do you need to wet the soil mixture first when doing a dirted deep substrate? Well, the main reason is that it's highly absorbent and it has a tendency to float. If you just were to dump, particularly the peat moss, if you dump a handful of peat moss in your tank, it will float for months, and it will form a curtain in your tank that'll turn it brown permanently. We do it simply to avoid the problem of dry material working its way up through the sand, getting into the water column. So if you wet it, it is wet. It is sunk. It'll stay down. You want to soak it good and then cap it good. So it's not just soaking it; it's also capping it with at least 2 inches of sand. Stephen was discussing that on on Discord this morning, talking about the depth of the sand bed. There were some people having a problem, and he suggested you might have to go to 3 inches, and that's really true. You might have to. Generally, 2 inches is adequate. Um, but you may in fact need to go to 3 inches. In a large tank, particularly if you're doing more than 1 inch of dirt, you really ought to do 3 to 4 inches of sand, a sand cap. There are many, many reasons for doing it. One of the primary reasons is to keep the soil from getting into the water column. So the sand acts as a barrier preventing that from happening, which means you're keeping nutrition and nutrients to as much extent as possible out of the water column. So you're not getting heavy introduction of nutrients in the water, which will tend to create algae, among other things. So that's why.
I'm going to say a few more hellos. I think Melissa came in. Hi, Roman. And Emily says that she's seen a few empty tanks after the storm on the side of the road. So, yeah, that's too bad. But I know somebody
I
said
know it. I know it.
great.
Yeah.
Hi, TJ. Oh, hi, Amanda and Andrew, Mike D, Oreo, Kevin. Hello. And there's it's tough because we've got Fish and Shrimp by Rich and then Fantastic Fish and Friends, and they're so close. But hello, and then hello, Reese. The names are really close.
Ted Shepard has a question. She has 10 juvenile Pacific blue-eyed Signifiers. Can she put rams in the same tank with them? I think they would be fine together. The rams pretty well stay at the bottom. The Signifiers are going to stay more or less at the top. They probably will never meet. It shouldn't be a problem. And neither one of them are particularly aggressive. The Signifiers are not likely to be interested in what the rams are doing, so they're not likely to go after eggs or fry. If they decide to do that, there will be war, mind you. But my hunch is the Signifiers will not do that. Plant it heavily and try to create a plant barrier, something with a lot of plants in the middle that are going to keep the rams on the bottom and the rainbows on the top. But it should be fine, and it should be really pretty. It should make a really nice tank. Let us know if it's like anything else. You have to try these things to see how they work out. And very often, the behavior of one particular fish will not be normal. It'll behave in a way that's unique for that species, and that really throws all your planning off. But my guess is it'll work fine, and you won't have any trouble. If you do, let me know because I'd be really, really interested in finding out whether that's a problem or not. Good mother is here. She
Yeah.
called. She called me in the middle of the ice storm, with no heat in the house. She had a fireplace she had tried to use earlier in like a year or two before, and just filled the house with smoke. So I mentioned a damper, something that closes the flue. Um, and she went looking for it and sent me a picture and said, "Is this it?" And I said, "Yes, that's it. Push it."
Open
And
it.
she
Yeah.
said, "Open." And so then she lit a piece of paper and the smoke went right up the chimney. So
Yep.
she then was able to
Then
start
she's
a
all-
fire.
Yeah.
She wanted to, I'm going to tell a story on you, Amanda. I shouldn't do this, but I will. She had, because this is something, this is something everybody needs to know about. She has a little oxygen can that she used to ship fish. She said, "Can I use that to start a fire? Because oxygen burns."
Hmm.
And I said, "Well, here's the problem." I said, "It's scary."
Right.
I said,
I'm like,
"I don't know what to do it." And then the more I thought about it, the more I realized what happens. Those things blow up. And the reason they blow up is because the oxygen burns in the presence of oxygen. If there is oxygen, she said, "Well, I've got a hose. I've got a long tube. The oxygen will burn. It'll backflash right up that hose, hit the tank, and explode."
Don't do it.
So she didn't do it. And her phone was burning out. So was doing messages, and I finally called her, and she said, "I'm out of time. I got no time on my phone." I said, don't light it. Don't do it.
Right.
But
Don't do that.
she was smart about it. I mean, she knew enough to ask, to inquire, and it wasn't something she was going to go ahead and do. It's a very sharp woman, a very sharp lady, one who I have enormous respect for. And if you have not been, excuse me, knocking stuff on the floor here. If you have not been to her Good Mother website, you need to go, her channel. She's talking about some really consequential and significant issues. It's not a political channel, but it's very much a social commentary channel. So do check it out. And nice to have you with us, Good Mother.
Yes. And Holly, I'm so sorry you've got a tank that's leaking. She says her guppy tank cracked all the way across the bottom, emptying fast. She'll be lurking. Ooh, well, I hope you get that under control.
I had exactly the same thing happen in a 55 a week ago. I had about $200 worth of fish in that tank, and it was tied to a number of other tanks, so it was leaking, but they were kind of all leaking at the same level. One of the guys couldn't find the leak. I disconnected the overflows and noticed that one was down lower than the others. That was late in the afternoon. I figured, well, it'll stop. I'll catch it in the morning. Well, it didn't stop. Betsy came in about 9 o'clock that night to check the birds, and the tank was out of water and the fish were flopping around. She managed to save the ones she could find.
Yeah.
But yeah, same thing. It cracked in the bottom and just ran totally out of water. I did not expect that to happen.
Well, no, none of us expect it, and we hope we never have to deal with what we do. Hello, have more, and we had a bunch of people come in while we were talking. Mr. Manifesto, Harry Woodsman, Jay Oliver, Liberty Cichlids, Compost Mentis, lots, and then Amber's here, Fish Tropic, Rob's Aquarium.
HSIF more.
Yeah.
Another fatherfish save.
Yeah.
Ryan Carroll, Amber Gruball.
I don't know who it was. Somebody said
Can't find organic dirt. I thought I heard in one of your videos say if you used a whole black cow is better than dirt. I did not say that, but I can't find the video. Is this correct? No. All black cow is not better than dirt. I would not do all black cow. It's too dense. It's much too dense. I like to have that's why I use peat moss to soften the soil so it can get some permeation. Solid black cow would be like putting solid clay in. It would be so dense the water would not be able to get through it easily. It would not really be permeated. Would not do that. I would not do that.
Hey, Tam thinks somebody should sing Happy Birthday to Emily.
We should sing. You want to sing Happy Birthday?
Well,
you want to sing?
No, Tam says somebody should sing Happy Birthday to Emily.
Right.
That's what
and I
okay.
And I said.
And you said.
Do you want to sing Happy Birthday to Emily?
Sure. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Emily. Happy birthday to you.
And there you have it. There you have it. You now have a taste.
So anyway, and we keep having people come in, and I had a question, but I scrolled back up. Oh, wait a minute. Where'd it go? I can't remember who it was.
There was somebody else. Yeah, I saw one too.
Oh, there's a couple questions, but I had one that I was going to give you first. But then I scrolled after I did that. Oh, something about. Oh, there it is. Herp diversity. Father fish, do you think your pup fish could be acclimated to freshwater slowly? That was
My what?
pup fish. P-U-P. Pup.
Oh, they already are. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I put them right in fresh water. In fact, they were collected in fresh water. They
Okay.
were collected in a very light brackish, um, way up in a creek. So hard water, not soft water, and I've got them in hard water, but they're doing just fine. When I bred them before 2 years ago, I bred them in hard water. And I've just talked to a couple of the people who bought some from me, and they now have third generation. That was 2 years ago.
Oh, wow.
So they've done, yeah, they've done really quite well. Rob's aquarium room. Fresh and Salt said he's 14. Delightful young man. Absolutely impressed with him. And tell us your name. I don't know your name. You don't have to, but I'd like to know. Emily's getting her own show, Tori says. All right.
Amber, can I find organic dirt? I thought I heard one of your videos say even using. Oh, that was it. Sorry, I already did that. Yeah, just use a dirt mix. I would. Basic dirt.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, I'm going to brag on Joey. Her family are professional, were, I should say, for many years, professional bluegrass entertainers who would travel to all of the bluegrass meets and were headliners. They're just very, very well-known people in certain circles, and
Certain
she is certain circles, right? And I've been dying to get her to sing.
Well, there
So
you go. You got a happy birthday. Don't push it. Don't push
that's
me.
as good as it. Listen, I'm happy to get whatever I can. I'll take it all. Take whatever I can get.
I mean, happy birthday is not really my thing, but I did it.
But it was cool.
Okay,
Bluegrass
cool.
and horses. Tori says, Joey, bluegrass and horses. You sure you're not from my neck of the woods in
I
Kentucky?
know. I really should be, but I'm from Maine. Hey,
Right.
my dad, I think he heard, when he was younger. I mean, obviously a married man with some children, but I think he heard, Earl Scruggs play the banjo and was just hooked. Had to play the banjo. I mean, Earl Scruggs is an amazing banjo player. So, you want to be like somebody, be like Earl Scruggs. But yeah, we were different being from Maine. So anyway, I must have roots there in Kentucky. No, I don't actually, but it sounds good, right? So you finding some more fish questions?
Yeah, Running River has a question. Kind of an
Okay.
interesting one. She
Oh
said,
yeah.
Father, is there a reason why you recommend sodium bicarbonate for KH? I usually use the KH raising salt because it doesn't affect pH. Well, dear heart, KH directly affects pH. That's what KH is all about. Carbonate hardness is what maintains pH stability. If you have no carbonate hardness in your water, the biological activity will drive the pH down to 6.0. It is carbonate hardness that holds the pH stable at whatever level it exists. I try to keep it high because I want to keep my pH high. But that's just the way I keep fish. What else we got?
Great job.
Um,
uh,
Kevin Long, I have 5 10-gallon tanks and glass is thinner on 10s. Mountain filter overflow suggestions. You want to do an overflow?
fish,
Yeah.
shoot, no.
Well, you don't
French.
want to drill them. You do not want to drill them. I've got a video that explains how to do an overflow level system that's automatic. Check on my channel under fish rooms. You'll find a video there explaining my overflow system, such that you can maintain a stable level in your tank with that system. And if you've got questions beyond that, get back to me. I was watching someone the other day. It was an old video, a couple of years old, where they were doing a very complicated one involving drilling pipe and putting hose in. Mine is really very, very simple. Um, it's something we spent years developing. Started out complicated and just got simpler and simpler and simpler until we finally got it down to one tube on a U, a W actually, or the letter N maybe. And it's perfect. Check it out. I'll do another video on that at some point to be able to show you how to do that. Super simple, takes no drilling at all. It's just coupling PVC together.
Fresh and Saltfish in Florida said they had a 100-gallon break in their room. Yeah, I can imagine that was a mess.
Dreadful.
Yeah, it's no. I mean, leaking tanks. It's just no fun because you're panicking. You're trying to get the fish taken care of and take care of the leak at the same time. It's not fun.
Yeah. Red Eye
No.
wants to know if it's important to remove the sticks from potting soil and black cow. I've never found a stick in black cow.
Well, I
Uh,
mean, little ones, but
yeah, unless it is driftwood level, I wouldn't really worry
I'd
about
still
it.
leave it if it was driftwood level. I'd
But
leave it.
yeah, but you wouldn't want to bury it.
No, but I don't think that would be a problem. Hi, Amy.
No, just leave it. It's
Aquatic.
fine.
Yeah. And you like bluegrass too? Cool. You play bluegrass too. Cool.
Sodium bicarbonate raises my pH. Right, correct.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, most of the stuff that comes in organic dirt would be fine. Yeah. There's always particles and things. There's always things.
yeah, not a big issue. Don't worry
Right.
about it.
Right.
You're going to bury it.
Any places where to buy cheap sand. But I personally like to buy. I like the black stuff, so I buy the black diamond from Tractor Supply as often as I can.
Yeah, and it's nice. They've got two grades.
Filter sand. Yes, they have two grades. They have a fine that's a little bit more brown, and then they have the coarse, which is in the blue bag, which is actually black. And then I have bought the pool filter sand like you have, and it's lighter, clean
Yeah,
sand.
I was looking at a video the other day that on Substrate, and they showed a box that had little discs in it with different colors of sand. I thought that was pretty cool. That's something I've not really investigated to try to find a wide range of. I know there are many different colors of sand. Um, the only reason we use the pool filter sand is because it's cheap, it's easy, it works well, and it's local. It's from here in Florida.
And that's what I was just going to say. As long as you're willing to spend a little bit more money for maybe a special tank, I think you can find other sands. But they're going to be more expensive. But for inexpensive, I think the sandblasting sands at Tractor Supply and the pool filter sands are a great price, and they look good. Your tanks will look good.
Yeah,
This
the whole
is a sandblasting pan. That's
yeah,
from Tractor Supply. You know, I like it.
$10 for 50 pounds. Hard to
You
beat
can't
that.
beat it. It's 40-pound bag for the sandblasting.
That one is, yeah. If my betta fish died, it's a north of Freeman. And now it just jumped and I lost it.
Yeah. If my betta fish died due to bacterial infection, I think Popeye, swim bladder, illness. Should I throw away the substrate? 2 inches
No,
of no.
no. No, your tank is not infected.
Right.
Let me talk a little bit about bacteria because
Mm-hmm.
bacteria is very poorly understood. There are, in effect, in your tank, no specific kinds of bacteria that are in and of themselves dangerous. Now, having said that, I know there are toxic bacteria, but in general, in terms of the kinds of bacteria that you're going to have in your tank, none of them are by themselves um, toxic. Here's what happens: if there is inadequate biodiversity, that is to say, only one or two or three or four kinds of bacteria in your tank, and you have something in the tank that is eroding, that's breaking down like a dead fish, or waste a lot of waste food, the bacteria that's in there will multiply to consume that waste, and it will multiply to the point where it can really get out of control, where it can begin burning off oxygen in the water, and even looking for other sources of food like the flesh of fish, a wound, a fish with a wound. If you have a lot of bacteria in your water because there's a lot of waste in it, and a fish gets a wound, that bacteria is very likely to attack that wound. Now, it's not because it's a bad bacteria, it's because you've got an excess of bacteria in the tank by virtue of two things. By virtue, number one, of not having adequate diversity in the tank, such as would be able to control that bacterial growth. And two, you've got waste in the tank that is promoting excessive bacterial growth. So keep in mind when you have a bacterial problem, it's because there is something wrong with the tank, but that doesn't mean you throw everything away and start over. That's throwing it all away and start over is simply going to put you back where you started to begin with. What you need to do is not go backwards, you need to go forward. You need to control that. I had a customer come in the other day. He's had his tank set up for 2 years. Beautiful tank, set up just the way I said he should. Put the dirt in and the sand, got plants growing. Beautiful, really excited about it. Was fantastic for 2 years. And then his little child, his 3-year-old, poured an entire can of food in the tank. And he said, it's been months now and I can't get it fixed. I can't get it right. Should I just dump it and start over again? And I said no. And then I asked him to describe the condition of his tank. And he had not removed all of the waste. He got some of it, but he said there were still little chunks and bubbles and whatnot floating around in there. So I said, okay, here's what you need to do: lower the water level, bring it all the way down to an inch of water or less. Use your net and scrape the top of that. Get all of it off. You can use a siphon and siphon it off. Get everything out of there that's waste. Then add another half inch to an inch of sand on top of that. Refill the tank and you'll be good to go. It'll be fine. It'll be clean, clear. It'll be perfect again. So there it was. He was about to throw the whole thing out because he couldn't figure out how to clean it. So I gave him some ideas about about how to excuse me, how to clean it. That should save his tank. I haven't talked to him since then. I'm assuming that it worked out. I hope so.
Excuse me. Hi, Kenny. I got a question for you about Ray Aquatics. Yes, I do breed my goldfish. I have a video that I did about breeding them, and I'm making another one now. So I do breed them. And
She
then,
does. Yeah, you need to watch that video. It's a time lapse video that really is interesting. So do check out Joe's video on breeding goldfish.
thank you.
It's
And
excellent.
I'm making another one. It'll be similar but different, you know. Um, and then Jack Pierce says, about how long does it take for a new setup to develop the denitrifying bacteria to start working? I had a fountain of bubbles several times a day coming up through the substrate after 2 weeks.
A fountain of bubble.
So I guess what we don't know is what is the substrate, right?
Well, there's that. Uh, if the water is not discolored,
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, was that? Oh, no, sorry. Go ahead. Yep, go ahead. I thought there was something else. Yep.
if the water is not discolored, then you're not getting leaching from the soil through the sand into the tank. So if that's the case, you're good to go. Here's the deal. When you set up a new tank, you want to plant it out right away, and you want to put fish in it right away. Day 2, put fish in it. Day 2. Now, don't start by loading it up with 100 fish. Start with a few, and then you can add more week after week. The 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 thing you have to be careful about, however, is feeding, because the culprit is not the fish. The culprit is the food. The reason you need nitrification is to deal with the waste that's created by feeding the fish. So long as you don't feed the fish or feed them extremely sparingly early on, you will not have a problem. Enough nitrates will develop naturally through the plants. Plants are able to assimilate ammonia directly, and that's the issue is ammonia. They can take it in right away. If you have a few fish in a heavily planted tank that's been set up 24 hours, you're not going to have a problem. Unless you throw 500 times more food in there than those fish can possibly eat, or unless you feed them every hour on the hour. They're going to feed on the plants. They're going to feed on the life that begins to develop in the tank. If you've got small fish, and I basically don't recommend a deep soil substrate for big fish. There's some big fish that are fine in it. Angelfish are fine in it. Discus are fine in it. But Central American cichlids, African cichlids, Malawis anyway, Tanganyikas are pretty good. They do fine in the deep soil substrate. A lot of people don't like to put plants in with them. I do. I think they do fine with plants.
Yeah.
Mr. B, go ahead.
More hellos, Father Fish, because a lot of people have come in. I think, and Lori, thank you for posting that video. But there's something from Word Dunlap. I'm not sure if I should read it or not. But anyway, I did say hi to Kenny, but Kenny's in here, and Andres Albert is here. I think I saw GRB come in, and Sue Ann's here, Kevin Brown. And there might even be a couple more. JBD is here, and they just keep coming in. So that is awesome, and welcome. And Christina, welcome. Glad to see everybody here this evening. So You had a couple things. Do you see something that you wanted to grab first, or
Go ahead. Go ahead.
okay. Father, this is from Emily, so it's her birthday, so Father Fish, what should I do with my dead tank from the freeze? Shockingly, some of the pest snails survived, so I'm unsure what to do. And I think the freeze you're talking about, Emily, is in Texas, so I'm sorry that you had to deal with that. See what
What
Father
should,
Fish said.
yeah, just let it come back up to normal temperature and put fish back in it.
Okay.
Just it'll be fine.
So
Make
just
sure everything make sure everything dead is out of it, and make sure that it's that it's not cloudy with bacteria. If
right.
it's an otherwise healthy tank, then just continue on.
Okay.
It'll
I
be fine.
I'm afraid to read this to you because I know it's just gonna set you off. You
Oh,
ready?
good. Go
You
for it.
ready?
All right.
Okay. We're done lap. My neighbor fed my fish a month of fish food in one day. Then he went and bought more to feed them the next 10 days.
Right. Absolutely. I have them coming in here.
Sorry. I'm not laughing at you, we're done lap, but I just know where he's going. Okay, I'm ready.
I've had people come in who are all upset,
Hmm.
and they'll say, I'm taking care of my neighbor's fish, and he didn't leave enough food for them. And I say, oh, well, what did he leave for them? He said, well, he left these little piles of food, and I put one in, and they ate it all. And they were still hungry, so I put another pile in, and they ate it, and they were still hungry, so I put it, and I fed it all. So I need more food. The fish are still hungry. I've had this happen more than once, and I said to him, "You have your neighbor's phone number? Can you reach him?" Well, yeah, but I don't. I want to just replace the food. I said, no, wait. Do you have your neighbor's phone number? And he said, well, yeah, I do. I said, well, do you want to call him or do you want me to? Because he needs to be called. Well, what do you mean? Why? Why does he need to be called? Because you killed his fish. They're not dead yet, but they will be. In 24 hours, they will all be dead. Now, do you want me to talk to him or should you? What are you talking about? What do you mean? They were hungry. I fed them. That's all. They ate it all. They ate all of it. I know. You ever thought that fish shit a lot when they eat a lot? And what do you suppose happens to all of that waste? What do you suppose happens to it? Well, he's got a filter. The filter. It takes it all up. It takes it out. Uh-huh. Is that filter water constantly going through it, right? So it's sitting in there with the water going through it, running through it all the time, continuously, to begin to understand what's going on here. Well. Uh, Now I've had two reactions when it comes to that. One is, Father Fish, you're terrible. You are so terrible. I don't ever want to come back here again. And they'll race out the door. And then they'll be back the next day with all the fish dead. Or what do I do about it? What do I do about this? That, they're teachable. So my advice then is, you're going to need to do some water changes right away. Teach you how to do that, and then you're going to leave. How long will it be before your neighbor's back? Oh, a week. About a week. Said good. You are not to put one more grain of food in that tank for the next week. Not one. Not one time. Not once. None. And when your neighbor comes back, you tell him to come see me because I told you that. Sometimes that works.
Well, we're Dunlap chimed in with 150 convicts, 90% dead. Thanks, neighbor.
Right.
Sorry,
Well,
I'm not laughing at you, word Dunlap. I'm sorry. I'm just laughing because I know how he was going to react, and I mean not that he's wrong. And I'm sorry that you lost your fish. I am not laughing at you,
he
but
lost 90% of his convicts.
he'll have more.
So some would celebrate.
Yes, there's that. But if they were special to you, I am sorry. I
Not
am.
all bad things are all bad.
I know.
Some
I know.
bad things have
So,
have good in them somewhere.
here's a question I've never heard. You may have. Andre says, anyone run into fish handlers disease? Not really sure where they're.
Fish handlers disease. Well,
I mean,
I can I can think of one.
I got an idea, but I'm not sure. You go.
Okay. I frequently, when I'm dipping fish, the fish will wind up on the floor. Well, you know, not all that frequently, but it
It
happens.
can
I,
happen. Yeah.
I should not say frequently. It just seems that way. When a fish winds up on the floor, inevitably the customer is standing there and says, I'll get it, I'll get it. And I'll say, no, don't touch it. Don't touch it. And he'll, oh, your hands are dry. If you touch it, you're gonna wipe the slime coat off of it, and it will get infected and it'll die. It's already injured from the fall, and I will put the net down alongside it, and with my wet hand flip it into the net and throw it back to the tank. And 9 times out of 10, it's fine. Once in a while, it's not. Once in a while, it hits hard the wrong way and doesn't survive. But that's one kind of fish handler problem. If you're handling fish with dry hands or a dry towel, whatever, and you remove that slime coat, that makes it possible for bacteria to infect that fish. That's what the slime coat is for. It protects the fish from being invaded by bacteria and parasites.
Mm-hmm.
Fish and Tactics is here. Hello, hello.
Thanks. I'm scrolling around. Oh, the fish box.
Well, Word Dunlap is saying tuberculosis is fish handler's disease. Isn't the same as the TB they are. I assume that's what he meant. Fish TB, fish tuberculosis.
I have heard about it, but I don't believe I've ever run into it, or certainly not to my knowledge. But I mean, I certainly have read all the things about it, and that it's not good, and you want to be wearing gloves if you suspect it.
Mr. Crapper, Mr. Crapper now is blue. He should have been blue a while ago. And I guess he's blue because he's fighting with his wife about feeding the fish.
That's why he gets to be blue. So we have a question from the fish box. It says, Father Fish and Joey and chat, what's your favorite type of media for canister filters? What do you like?
Yeah, I like air conditioning filter material that I buy in big rolls.
Okay.
There are a couple of different grades of it. The blue stuff, the blue and white stuff, I like real well because it's finer and it'll pull out finer material. You can get it what's called boar's hair, which is real coarse. I use that like in ponds. I sell it to people who have ponds. But that's what I like to use. What do you use, Joey?
I don't have any canister filters right now, but in the past I have used sponge and just a little bit of bio media, but mostly sponge. You know, different I can't think of the word, but some that have a different the coarseness to it, and I can't think of the right word for it. But yeah, I'll use one that has a finer sponge, and then one that's coarser, and layer it with the biomedia. But I am not a fan of canister filters. I don't like messing with them. I don't like cleaning them.
Yeah,
I tried
exactly.
I tried them. My last fluval, I literally got so mad one day. I ripped it off the tank and took it out in the yard and kicked it a few times and threw it in the trash. That was about $170 filter. I just kicked around the yard for a little while, threw it in the trash. So I
We're
have
talking about fish disease. I have a friend, an old time fish handler, works
okay.
on a fish farm. Used to work on a fish farm. She developed ringworm on her arms and hands, and
Yeah,
they determined it was from the fish
from the
because
fish
she had her hands in fish tanks every day, all day long.
all the time. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. So, Catfish Terry just came in, or came in, and Midnight Lobster and Bruiser. Hello, Andres. And I don't know if anybody else is in here.
Kevin Long is asking about quarantining. Um, the only kind of quarantining I ever do is with wild caught fish. I will put them in a tank with either nothing else or with other wild caught fish. I cannot count on one hand the number of times I have had a problem um, not quarantining fish. I simply never do it. And the reason I never do it is because, except for the fish I catch in the wild, all of the fish that I get have been through such an intensive prophylactic kind of experience for weeks, if not months, that there's not a chance they're going to be carrying anything. I mean, 1 in a million chance they're going to actually have any kind of disease at all. I mean, you think about the process from the time that fish is born, raised, grows up, harvested, acclimated for shipping, shipped, received, acclimated for reshipping, shipped, received, acclimated for selling. And the acclimation that always involves that fish being in isolation for a short period of time at least, and usually involves some kind of salt bath or chemical bath. It goes through that 2, 3, 4 times. By the time it gets to you, you're lucky it's alive. It's been through so much of that. You're just Remember we talked about gilding the lily the other day? Well, it's worse than that. It's poisoning a dead fly. There is virtually no chance at all that fish is going to be carrying disease. The only one it's likely to have is ick, and you cure that with temperature. Kick the temperature up to 86 degrees for 2 days, and the ick is gone. That's it. If it's got bacteria all over it, if it's growing fungus, if it's obviously sick, don't buy it, and don't buy anything else from that store or that fish keeper, because they're not keeping healthy fish. If you get a fish that comes in that's sick, absolutely treat it. If there's something obviously wrong with it, absolutely isolate it. But I'll tell you what, I defy you to find a sick fish in otherwise healthy deliveries. It just isn't there. It's one more example of an industry that promotes sales where they are virtually wholly unnecessary and dangerous to the fish. Putting all kind of chemicals in with the fish isn't doing it any favors. It's really not. Enough of that. That'll get me in trouble. I hope. I keep trying to get in trouble.
Okay. Hi, mainly Bettas. Hi, Amanda May. And James.
Irish, you're going to have a plant off. What about plants or inverts? Same thing, Kevin. Same issue exactly.
Oh, Mr. Manifesto says he's heard of people getting fungus stuff around their nails and hands. I mean, I suppose we could, as humans, get a few things. You just got a super chat. Yep, from Jay Oliver's.
Thank you, Jay Oliver, very much. Hope
you.
everyone's having a great weekend. Amen to that.
I don't wear gloves, and probably should. I just wash my hands a lot.
Right. Well, apply some common sense.
Right.
And you won't have a problem.
Between being in the barn and being in the fish tanks, I wash my hands a lot. And sometimes it's just, wearing gloves to try to do stuff in fish tanks, it's just, for me, it doesn't work. I'm not saying that it's maybe not right, but I can't do it. I'm reading. Are you reading?
Yeah. Florida Test is talking about columnaris worms.
Mm-hmm. What about them? I didn't see the
Well,
question.
he said he's had problems with columnaris, so always quarantines new fish, but only uses meds when required.
Hey,
It depends where you're getting them from. It depends where you're getting your fish from. I'm very careful about where I get my fish from. I don't get them from places where there is any possibility of disease or parasites. I just don't do it.
Well, and I'm going to say quarantining is your comfort level, and
that's absolutely right. If it's important, I'm not suggesting you should not. I'm just saying I don't.
Right.
Now, if I needed to, I would, but I can't tell you. There have been so few times I've needed to. I've gotten in thousands and thousands of bags of fish. And it just doesn't happen. If I look at the bag and the water is cloudy and the fish are dying in it, I don't even open the bag. I mean, I don't try to save those
in there. Yeah,
I really don't. I put it away. I don't deal with it.
Yeah.
And I think that's frankly a safer way to proceed. If you got something is a problem and you can avoid having to deal with it, then by all means, do not deal with it. Get back to the shipper or back to whoever sent it to you and insist they make it good. Take a picture of it. Send them the picture.
Yeah.
A reputable dealer will make it good.
Brian Carroll says, I asked, do you use an internal glass cleaner? If so, what? I don't know what you mean by internal glass cleaner. Do you mean cleaning?
I use scrubbies. I like scrubbies.
Well, I mean, do you mean in an existing tank or like in an empty tank? That's where I'm confused. Like one that you're going to wash and set up, or one that is set up and how you clean the glass. I guess explain both options because I'm not sure.
Keith Henshaw is talking about birthing gloves.
Hey, you can get gloves that go up, for sure.
TJ Kennedy and Jay Blomquist. Welcome. Nice to have you with us.
I guess what you were saying.
Come on back a second time and you'll earn a wrench.
Yes, welcome. So I guess what you'd say to Brian is you use scrubbies to clean in an existing tank on the glass, you
Yeah,
know.
exactly.
And
Yeah.
then if you're talking
I like
about a new tank that you're setting up, I have various things, but a safe thing to use is white vinegar. You can't go wrong scrubbing the tank out with white vinegar. It'll
You
take
can
off.
use alcohol too, you know. It
It'll take,
evaporates pretty quickly.
yeah, but it'll take off lime and it'll take off a lot that's stuck on, a crusty tank, and it'll rinse out and you won't have to worry about it. Anything residual being in there. So I think that's a really safe thing to use. And it also works well, white vinegar on the outside of your tank to clean off any crusty areas.
Right, right.
And it's safe.
Word
So
Dunlap says if my fish get worms, I'm burning the tank. It won't burn. It won't burn. Word Dunlap. You can try it, but you might blow it up or smash it
yeah.
with it, but it really won't burn.
So GRB Aquatic, who's from Australia, sorry, he says I caught a legless lizard and it crawls up and looks exactly, sorry, I got hair in my mouth, like a snake. Very cool little critter. A legless, how do you know it's a legless lizard?
Yeah, if
That's
it's a lizard, how does it coil?
yeah, that's weird. I mean,
We
GRB
have
has a lot.
legless, yeah, we have legless lizards here in Florida. We also call them glass lizards, but they are not. They're not capable of coiling.
Huh. Yeah, no, Amanda, white vinegar will take that lime crustiness, any of that crustiness, it'll take it right off your tank.
Danny is talking about the floating magnetic glass scrapers. I use those. They're nice.
I use those. I use, like you said, scrubby stuff. And I've used a razor blade.
Yeah, blue scrubby paper
Whatever
towels
you
are
gotta do.
fun.
Whatever you gotta do to get it off.
Yeah,
Oh, TJ
man, the
says
man,
legless
like
lizard,
Kenny,
teeny little stumps. Huh. Yeah,
Andre.
I have James use Dawn dishwashing liquid in a new tank, and I do it personally. I just try not to recommend it myself to people because obviously rinsing is the key. But that's why I say you can't go wrong with the white vinegar. That's safe. But I have used Dawn myself.
Andre Alvarado, can Neocaridina shrimp infect Caridina shrimp with the green moss on the eggs? It seems I've only seen Neocaridina with it.
Hmm.
If there's a moss on the eggs, it is not an infection, and the Neocaridina did not cause it. So there seems to me there are a couple of urban myths there. What shall we call them? We shall call them aquatic mythology.
Maybe.
Aquatic mythology. No, I guess the answer to that is no.
See, everybody's got things. Barkeeper soap works. GRB uses credit cards. Yeah, there's all kinds of ways to clean your tank. Toothbrush in the corner, sure. All those things work.
Old credit card. Yeah, I have cards, algae scraper cards that I bought especially that have the Fatherfish logo on one side, and I give them out as algae scraper cards. If you would like one, send me $5 to Utah PayPal, Fatherfish. You will get an algae scraper, probably two. You will get a bumper sticker, a nice yellow, pretty one. You will get Fatherfish stickers, and you will also get some cards, Fatherfish cards, and whatever else we're giving away at the time. If you would like a mug with that, increase it by $25, and you will get a new mug. We have brand new mugs coming in. They're going to have Fatherfish on one side and the shop picture on the other side. They're very pretty. We're just waiting for them to come in.
Yeah.
Razor
So,
blade scrapers, Jack Hughes says, I like them. They're good.
yeah. Some people are mentioning magic erasers work well too. And I have heard of the barkeeper's try. I've heard of all these things. You just have to find what works for you. Incoming Hit the Dirt says, I'm seeing top minnow schooling in the lake by me. What would a school look like, and are they easy to keep in aquariums? Well, I think a school would be awesome.
They are not easy to keep in
I
aquariums.
don't know if they're easy.
Unless,
Yeah.
unless you have an extremely large aquarium.
Yeah.
And by that I mean 500 to 1,000 gallons. Extremely large. They get big. They get 3-4 inches. They're not going to school in a 10-gallon tank, or even a 50, or even much in 100. So there are a lot of schooling fish you can get, but they need to be tiny if you really want them to school. Neons are a good example. If you can find green neons, hard to find, but if you can find green neons, buy at least 10. Buy 25 if you can afford it. They're a hardy fish. They're a schooling fish. They're pretty. They stay small. They're just a wonderful, wonderful aquarium fish. Green neons.
Mainly bettas. I don't blame you. I dread moving tanks, and that's what Father Fish is doing right now. I just realized we're at 7:12, Father Fish. You want to answer one last question?
Yeah, let's do that, and then we need to.
So you have Jordan Sherman that says, I have hair algae problem. What can I do about it?
Well, now, dear, there's. You could learn to love it. That's one thing you could do about it.
I don't mind it, but yeah.
If you want to get rid of it, you're going to have to put more higher order plants in the tank. Feed less. Try to get the nutrition level down. More plants, and even more plants. That'll solve much of the problem. You might add an inch of sand. We have, look at this. We have a new sand bell.
Oh, a new sand bell. Very nice.
Yeah, I found it in the process.
It sounds different. It has a different tone.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, it has a different tone than the other bell.
This is a school bell.
There you go. Yes, and add the sand. So there are people saying in here that they have luck with those top minnows. So I mean, you could try it, right? They're in the lake, you catch them, try it. Some people have had luck with them. You know.
You're small enough, right?
Yeah.
Do I have a YouTube video on building a sump? Oh, I'm not sure I do. I thought about that the other day. I don't think I do. As common a thing as that is in my shop, I don't think I've ever shown my sumps. Maybe I have. Look in the fish room. I've got some fish room videos. The category is fish rooms, and I've got a few videos in there about my fish room and how it's set up. You might find something there.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I think I don't think he lost the old bell, Holly. You didn't lose the old bell. You still have both bells.
It's packed up. It's packed up.
I have both
but
bells.
I'm happy to have this one. This one has.
Brian says quickly, do flagfish eat hair algae?
Some do.
Yeah.
Flagfish.
Molly, Roman just had a good suggestion for
I think that, Yep. Enter Sandman has a theme song. There's a thought. I'll have to talk to some of our vocalists about that.
Yeah. All right.
We're good.
Roman likes the school bell. He can use both bells. He can use both bells.
It's a nice. Yeah, it's a nice.
Yeah. Like I said, it's got a higher tone than the other one.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
For sure.
All right, we're going to be here. We'll be back in the
Captain
morning.
Nemo. Oh, there's just been so many people come in, and I apologize if we missed a lot of hellos. We certainly didn't mean to ignore anyone. Glad
Sure,
you're all
Danny.
here. Could you hit the thumbs up on your way out if you haven't already?
Please do.
Thank you so much. And Lori, thank you for helping dropping some links. And
Yeah, we're here for an hour Saturday and Sunday evening.
Yeah.
We try not to step on other people.
But we have already. So
We have already.
yeah.
Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern time to at least 10:30. And if it's a hot date, we'll go to 11.
Yeah, if there are a lot of questions and it's going whatever. Christina said it. She has shiners, but it took her 2 years to get it right or get them going. So yeah, those fish can be tricky. You know.
Yeah.
Those minnows and shiners and but they look cool if you can get it going. So anyway,
Bye,
all right,
y'all.
we should
See you. See you in the morning. See everybody.
Bye, everyone. Thank you for coming in. Have a good night. Happy birthday, Emily.
Yes.